Ladies and gentlemen of the rock and roll, punk, prog, hardcore, thrash and heavy metal community, my name is Jason and this is the Great Metal Standoff, the podcast that pits music's greatest albums in track-by-track combat. It's the end of the year, it's the silly season. So what's the silliest thing Imran and I could possibly do on the Great Metal Standoff? I know. Go Britpop. Our guest joins us from SYN's flagship sports program, The Sports Desk, where I was invited to join the team earlier in the year, and it was Sam of the Friday morning program who quickly revealed his rock and roll allegiance. So for no other reasons than to get Sam on the show and to properly explore Britpop out of curiosity alone, Sam, Imran and myself are reigniting the fierce Oasis and Blur rivalry for Imran and I to simply adopt the role of paying customer to the Sam Menhennet Britpop guided tour. The battle will be Oasis' debut, Definitely Maybe, and Blur's third release, Parklife. And here is how we will contest the battle. Every album battle will be contested in track-by-track format by our podcast panel. Each individual panelist will select a winner of each pairing. The winning track receives a point to that individual's tally score. Tracks on albums that go uncontested can receive a tally point if a panelist awards it a gold star. Once the battle is over, the album with the highest tally score will receive 1 grand point for that album. If a panelist's tally score results in a draw, both albums will receive a half grand point each. The album with the most grand points will be declared the winner. 5 gold stars on offer. 2 bands with so much history and lore, enormous impacts to British music, and the albums chosen for this battle came out in 1994. It appears we're destined to do this forever. Mosh Pit and the Sports Desk officially collaborate now. Over to Imran and Sam. Roll the audio. Alrighty-o, Imran, it is time for me to show you what I've been doing for the last 6 months, and that has been forming a wonderful relationship with a wonderful bloke. His name is Sam Menhennet. He's from the Sports Desk, one of the flagship sports programs over at SYN Media, and it's good to have him on the standoff because he's a rock and roller at heart. How you doing, Sam?
Good. How you going?
I'm doing quite all right myself. Imran, you in a good mood?
I'm in a very good mood.
You've gotten a new job recently, you were telling me, actually.
Yes, without doxing myself, yeah. A lot of stagehand stuff. So, been doing like crewing for bands like I did The Killers the other day. Did Good Things Festival.
Really?
Yeah, it's been fun.
Wow.
One of the most fun jobs I've ever had. What else have I done? I remember the very first one I did was Billie Eilish. That was pretty fun. She's very short in real life.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been good. Been a busy man.
Well, look at you moving up in the world. Sam, how have things been with you? Because I've, let's go inside baseball with the listeners here. I've been working alongside you for the last 6 months doing the Sports Desk, which is, started out when I joined, it was Monday to Fridays on 90.7 DAB and digital radio and online, wherever you get your radio. Now it's moved to Wednesdays and Fridays, and I've been working with you every Friday morning since about June. How's it been on your side, doing sport, covering the world of sport every week?
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been exciting. It's funny. I enjoyed it a lot better this year than I have in recent years because we were stuck at home and there wasn't much that sport to talk about. So in that respect, it's been fun. And I've always tried to bring a musical flair to the show as well because I miss doing music shows. So definitely I'll have to do some more at some point.
What's your history with music shows?
Previously, I've done a seasonal called Rockology, and it's returning a few specials. Look, it may even get a special return soon. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out.
Planning 2023.
Yes, maybe. Because I guess it's just become a bit of my brand and people know it. So rather than creating something new in my last year, might as well just keep it rolling one more time. And basically the ethos behind that show was just my love of rock and roll and having themed episodes and stuff. So, having one episode was themed the top 7 guitar riffs of all time, and best American bands and best B-side songs. So it covers a whole range of rock in a bit more in-depth and a bit more stuff sometimes you probably would never hear played on commercial radio and stuff, especially like B-side songs and unheard Zeppelin songs and things like that. So yeah, no, it's been exciting to delve a little bit deeper into the world of rock and roll.
I really hate to put you on the spot, Sam, but off the top of your head, what has been some of your favourite B-sides? What are your favourite B-side songs of all time? Or do you have a favourite that you actually did play on radio or something that you got a kick out of? I'm very sorry to put the spotlight on you like that.
I've really forgotten what
you really intrigued me then.
I could probably bring it up because I've made a playlist of it somewhere.
He is actually pulling up his
files. Because B-sides, the concept of B-sides are kind of a past thing. I've had to explain it to some people because back when there were vinyls and you could only have stuff on the main side and the back side, things that were kind of less popular or less were often put on the back side of it. And oh no, I can't find this thing.
Just to paint the picture to the listeners, by the way, Sammy, is that he's pulled out a massive binder. It's got papers flying everywhere, and he's found it. He's found it, Imran.
All right, well, this is probably one of the most famous songs that you probably wouldn't think was a B-side. Hound Dog by Elvis Presley.
Was that a B-side?
Yep.
Huh. Isn't that like his most popular song?
I think so, and I'm pretty sure it's a cover too. So maybe why it was.
Wasn't all of Elvis' songs covers?
I think so. Maybe my knowledge is not that
without
good.
delving too much into that, pretty much.
Yeah. A few others just off the top here. Pearl Jam, Yellow, Ledbetter, if you remember that one.
Yeah.
Aneurysm by Nirvana. We Will Rock You.
Hang on, Queen, We Will Rock You is a B-side.
We Are the Champions, the A-side?
I think so.
Yeah, see, I think that makes sense a little bit. Interesting.
No, that was news to me. I actually didn't know that. We Will Rock You is a B-side. But no, you're right, Imran. That does make a bit of sense. So the love of rock and roll is flowing through Sam, as you can tell. The battle today is Parklife by Blur and definitely maybe by Oasis, the debut by Oasis. Sam, where does your love of these two bands come from?
Well, I'm trying to think back. This was nothing influenced by my parents because there's been a fair few bands and stuff that I've grown up listening to, but the whole Oasis and Blur 90s thing has kind of been my own discovery. I reckon I probably heard the cliche Wonderwall a few years ago, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, a bit longer now probably, and I just remember going, oh, this is all right. I probably haven't listened to it since then.
I love how you caveated that with, I understand the meaning of Wonderwall. It was all right.
Well, it was good enough that it was, I mean, it's a popular song, no doubt, but probably some people stop there and that's all they know. But I went and did the whole discovery of the whole era, and essentially not just Oasis, it delved into the whole Britpop scene and went to a few themed indie nights, and that helped broaden my discovery. And often I found I was probably very out of place, not being not being an expat or of English descent, and not being over 40. I found I was going, oh, okay, this is funny that this guy's so invested in this. But it's not always been like that. I found the music has kind of, it still stands today, a lot of that stuff from that era. And I find Britpop, the whole thing, very fascinating. And a lot of it, it isn't heard enough in Australia.
I mean, it's fascinating enough for a show called The Great Metal Standoff. Here we are covering Britpop. What a lovely juxtaposition we have up here. You made a very interesting point there, Sam, and I'm going to direct this to Imran a little bit. Wonderwall by Oasis. People know that song. It's a really popular song. But Imran, are you like me where that is all you knew about Oasis?
Yes, and it hurt my soul.
Well, to be fair to you, Imran, you're about to discover some stuff that you may not even thought were made by Oasis. I think this will blow your mind then. If you've not heard, if that's the only thing you have heard, prepare for your mind to be blown.
look, going into this battle, look, I hadn't heard anything from both of these bands. I think maybe
Apart
that
from
one
Wonderwall.
song was it Wonderwall, and is
Song
it
two.
song two? That yeah, I don't even remember how song two goes. And Wonderwall,
Woo!
me and Wonderwall. Oh, that song. Okay,
There we go. It's
gotcha.
just remembered.
yeah, all right, I gotcha. Yeah, no, me and Wonderwall do not have a great relationship. But look, I went into this with an open mind. I'm like, surely Oasis's discography isn't as bad as Wonderwall. So, we'll have to see how we go as we go along.
Again, I'm with you, Imran. Wonderwall was the only thing I ever bothered about giving time to Oasis to, and then I only heard Champagne Supernova. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I heard that a couple times, liked that song, and then Sam introduced me to Don't Look Back in Anger, so that's another reason why he's our guest for this standoff. As for Blur, Sam, where did you discover that?
Well, I'd always heard of Song 2. That was one of those. I found a few songs in Britpop that there are a few that have crossed the streams and blended into other things. But Song 2 is a funny one because, again, although with Oasis they've got two kind of sounds, that Song 2 is very un-Blur sound, if you know the rest of their catalogue. It was made initially as like a parody and a juxtaposition to a lot of the grunge that was coming out. So that was their attempt at parodying it, and it blew up in their faces, and they had no idea. So no, Blur's always been interesting to me, and again, it was something I discovered in the whole Britpop exploration.
Well, on that note, just before we finally get into the battle, we'll talk of just very quickly of more of getting to know Sam. Since he's part of the sports show on SYN, I feel like it's only fair. Sam, give us all your allegiances right now. Share them all, bare your soul. All the sports teams. Who's everyone you follow?
Well, Carlton in the AFL, Melbourne City in the A-League, and topical for Oasis because they're all Man City fans. Manchester City in the Premier League.
And those are your Holy Trinity?
Yep.
Imran, your thoughts?
I mean, I'm not much of a sports guy, so cool, I guess.
Yeah, this is a man who gave up sport as soon as Hawthorn finished their three-peat, so as well documented on this show. Went for Hawthorn, racked up the premierships, checked out, cashed in, as they say.
Yeah, I was done after that.
Very, very nice. And that's the right way to go about it, I think, considering coming from me, Essendon supporter. Boo. Or boo-hoo, I guess. Especially after the 2022 we've had. The final question is going to be a bit more sports desk-centric to Sam. What are some of your proudest moments? We're recording at the end of the year, at the end of 2022. What are some of your proudest moments you've had doing the show?
I think we did a episodic special that we filmed with RMI TV for the grand final special. Unfortunately, it didn't get out to air as we planned, but I think the whole production of it and how we put it together, I think it turned out really good. But apart from that, I don't think there's really been much other standouts. Just enjoyed Friday mornings because it's been very entertaining, and often found that some non-sporting people have enjoyed it because we deliver in such a way that it's entertaining and not too... what's the word? I think it's accessible. We made it accessible and entertaining for people. Even casual sport fans can get their weekly feed with it.
You've balanced it out with... so what you're trying to tell is that balanced the sports and the casual side of it, really, just the hardcore fan and the casual. So you've balanced it. Yep. You're proud of how you balanced it. But I think that also comes towards, again, full disclosure. I joined the crew 6 months ago, and I'm seeing Sam's co-hosts do all their work, and like his co-hosts of Michael and Jimmy. You've got a good support base. Can't deny that.
Yep, definitely.
And you hear that? That's a very humble sports person answer. He's just going to... No full credit to the boys here. This is a music show. That's right. No, a big shout out to Michael and Jimmy, who have also done a very good job, at least from what I've seen through my time there. That's enough sport, folks. This is a music show. Oasis Fleet Blur, Timekeeper. You know what to do, right, Imran? He knows what to do.
Oh, yeah. Play Wonderwall.
And ring the bell too. Okay, let's begin this battle. We're delving into Britpop. Here we go. Rock and Roll Star versus Girls and Boys. And Sam, it is podcast tradition here on the Standoff that we start with the guest. So if you would like to start this battle for us, take it away.
Well, what a way to start. I think that's a really strong way to start both. Girls and Boys especially was a massive hit for Blur, and I think just want to quickly mention before we delve a bit deeper, if people don't know, they were essentially the battle of Britpop was Oasis and Blur, and specifically it was a big singles battle. So this year and across the next couple of years that they put out music, it was all about the singles that were released. They often released one straight after one did to try and compete with them in the chart. So a lot of these chart toppers would have gone against each other. But it's interesting we're going directly album by album, track by track, which looks at it a little slightly different. But Rock and Roll Star and, well, off the back, I love Girls and Boys. A lot of people actually hate the track. They find it annoying and too poppy. But I think maybe it's just my taste in music that I like indie dance tunes as well as rock, whereas I feel this is probably maybe, although I don't know you that well, I feel maybe this probably is an easier decision for you. And of course, Rock and Roll Star, what a way to... it's one of my favourite karaoke songs. And then for them being their first album, and it literally becoming a dream for them with this album exploding, and him actually becoming a rock and roll star.
There's something that rubs me the wrong way about how song 1 on album 1 of Oasis, the band that have the Gallagher brothers in it, and they're going on about being a rock and roll star. Like, there's something about that rubs me the wrong way, man.
Well, I just love its arrogance from them. I don't think they expected... I don't know. I think that they grew up in, council house and not having much money and just wanting to be a rock and roll star and living that kind of life, and not really giving an F. So from track 1, it's ready to go, and it gets me going on a Saturday night. It is a good tune to listen on the way into wherever I'm going.
It's brave of you to confess that it is a karaoke song of yours. You're a frequenter of the karaoke?
Yes, I haven't been in a while, but I am, definitely.
Just for Oasis songs?
I have done other songs, but it's probably 9 times out of 10, it probably is an Oasis song. But
oh, that's all right.
Your opening remarks, Imran?
Look, this is an interesting battle right from the get-go. Rock and Roll Star, I felt like it's an alright song. I feel like it's just kind of your average everyday rock song. It's very repetitive. There's the outro and the bridge was really weird. I felt like that was kind of out of place. Apart from that, nothing that I really latched onto with this song. I feel like it was just stock standard rock song. Don't know what else to say. Girls and Boys, I did quite like this one, despite how dancey it was.
Raunchy. Yes.
Ridiculously catchy.
Scrummy.
Yeah. I remember listening to this, and the next song came on, and I was still singing the chorus. The girls who like boys, who dig girls, who like boys. While the next song was playing, it was I really like the guitar riffs in this. They're very they're just weird. They've got this weird dissonance to it.
That's weird, where I got the word raunchy from, by the way. Raunchy riff I've got in my notes.
Nice. Yeah, raunchy, I'd say so. There's some really weird effects happening as well. I will say, if this song was just the isolated bass track, I would not be mad. That bass was grooving the entire time.
Actually was, yeah. No,
it was going as
Graham Coxon is a very, very interesting guitarist, and you'll find over this thing that there's just weird riffs and stuff playing that you've probably not heard someone play like before.
Yeah, I feel like some of the riffs that gets played throughout, I'm sure we'll discuss it more, but like especially with this song, it's just riffs that you wouldn't expect to go over the rest of the instruments, and yet somehow they just work.
Yep.
Like you could play like, it's something very similar or like basic along with the track, or you could play some weird crap like this. That's really, like you said, raunchy, or just like some weird, not even like riffs half the time. They're just weird sounds, which I think is really cool. Yeah, I think easy pick for me for this one, Girls and Boys.
Girls and Boys. And your breakdown of that, Imran, I was very ready to go Rock and Roll Star, but I think I've got a lot more upbeat feelings about Girls and Boys. I might actually end up joining you, because here we go, Sam. Now it's my first time I've submitted to the fact that I'm going to listen to the Gallagher brothers singing for about an hour, and if Wonderwall's the gauge, it doesn't get much better going backwards or forwards. God, his enunciations. Why do you have to do that, Liam? Why do you have to pronounce words the way you do? It grades on me.
I think part of it's his accent, because I find with a lot of singers, and he's come out in interviews, he said this before, a lot of singers sing in some American, just like clean anti-accent kind of thing, and I think he doesn't shy away from hearing his accent. And one of my favourite lyrics, it's not in this song, but... or maybe he's in this song, but he's sunshine. Like he'll basically spell it out. He'll give you a good spelling lesson of how to phonetically say a word. But I like Oasis's guitar. It just sounds raw, I think.
Can't deny that.
Yes, that bridge, and that does go on for a bit, but I don't know. I love that it's just basic. And yeah, there's a bit of like raw energy where you can imagine them playing in a small venue this and then just belting this out. I was going to say something else that's gone out of my head now. I've lost it.
That's all right. Imran, thank you for your breakdown. I'm joining you, Girls and Boys, for me. Sam, where's your point going to lie? This is where...
See, this is hard now.
This is where
because...
it's going to get hard. Yep.
And it's such a strong track that it's come up in the first one against. And I don't get me wrong, I love Girls and Boys. I love that track. But I think what you're going to find throughout the show is I'm probably going to steer the other way. I don't know. I love Rock and Roll. It's just a fun song. It's a fun, just easygoing. I don't know. It just puts me in the right mood. If you've not heard the version, and it's probably hard to find now because they played this at the Taylor Hawkins tribute gig, and Dave Grohl was on the drums, and Liam sang with the Foo Fighters, and they performed this. It was epic. It was really good.
Huh.
I think that's the start of some Sam recommends, which I'm happy you're going to be. If you're going to be doing that throughout the show, I'm happy you are. Your name is next to Rock and Roll Star. It's official point. Nice little chat there. Shaker Maker versus Tracy Jacks. I'm going to go to Imran on this one. My point, I think, is going Tracy Jacks unless someone's willing to steer me the other way. Because Imran, I want to ask you about definitely maybe's production. Any first impressions?
You know what? I actually wrote something about the production of this song, and I think this is the only song where I really noticed the production on the Oasis album, because I thought it was really good on this song. It's kind of a basic like blues song. There's nothing super spectacular about it, but something about the way all the guitars are, like, I don't know, maybe positioned in the mix. It just sounds really big and wide, like it's this big grand kind of thing. Even like the drums, I didn't pay any particular attention to the bass, but
was the bass?
I felt like it was.
To make out?
There was never really a point where I noticed the bass on this album, to be honest. Like there was a lot of guitar, which is cool, especially on this song. I think because there was I feel like there wasn't even much happening, but it felt so wide and so big, which I thought was really cool. The song itself is alright. It probably didn't need to be that long. The vocals sound like he's trying to do all of the Beatles at once. That's about it. I mean, I really like the blues. It's a good song, but that's an interesting one. I think it was just a bit too long.
Before you move on to the Blur song, Imran, what I've got in my thing, I think it was from the rawness that we hear in the guitars as the album goes on. You can hear it in Rock and Roll Star, maybe to a certain extent Shaker Maker as well. But I was getting a very Siamese Dream style production, Smashing Pumpkins, I guess.
Ah.
From really...
Like in terms of the more fuzzy kind of stuff?
Yeah,
or?
the fuzz and the haze. And I think that's a thing. Sam, correct me if I'm wrong. It might be just an indie thing, but that hazy guitar gets overbearing to me over a long period, and that's going to be a critique I'm probably going to have about Oasis as we go along. But also, I linked Siamese Dream and Billy Corgan's vocals to Gallagher in this song, and I reckon his voice cracked multiple times delivering that hook line. But what are we thinking, Sam?
Well, it's funny the production you mentioned. This was the album's second take, so they recorded all the songs and then they trashed them all because and then they went to a different studio and did it with someone else, I'm pretty sure, from memory. So it's interesting, and a lot of the recording process ended in fights. And one time Liam actually trashed all the instruments. He came back from the pub and smashed them all up, which is probably not a very expensive way to go about things. But eventually they made enough money where it probably didn't matter. No, I think this is one of my favourite songs, and it's funny they did get sued by Coca-Cola for this song because there was a famous Coca-Cola ad in the 60s that took the melody, "I like to buy the world a Coke and live in harmony," and it's you need to listen to it because it's very prominent how similar it was, the melody. But they've still managed to turn that into something so atmospherical and spacey, as you said, and it's just when I'm chilling out and trying to relax, it is very calming and nice to listen to. That spaciness, and yes, a lot of these songs are drawn out. They were all probably drugged and boozed up to the max, so that is the reason for that sort of stuff, which is Oasis's third album in a nutshell. That's for another day. But no, I love Shaker Maker.
Conversely, Tracy Jacks?
I don't mind it. It's decent. I'm trying to think of more things to say about it. I'm just trying to... I should have re-listened to this before we did this. I really should have done that.
Well, we'll see what Imran took away from it. He's normally got a couple of things to say. What I took away from it, it was a lot more of a wholesome feeling compositionally, or I guess soundscape-wise. And my big takeaways were... actually, I've got it in my notes here, actually. I'm going to direct quote. Imran, please explain the effects in the bridge, because my description was springy, or springy reverb.
The weird guitar delay part, I just wrote weird ambient solo. It was very weird. I would say out of place, but I think the guitarist for Blur just kind of does this where he'll find like the weirdest effect or just some crazy kind of way to play a riff and just put it over this really nice song. Like you said, kind of wholesome. Feels almost cinematic. I don't know, like the strings in the back during the verse were really nice. Kind of gives it like the end of a movie feel. I liked the last little instrumental part of the song as well. That because the bass kind of takes almost a lead part. I really liked that. I reckon if you replaced Hungry with Tracy, you could have a good jingle for the Hungry Jacks for like a commercial or something.
Oh, that's funny. That didn't even cross my mind that. And actually, now that I'm just so you know what I'm doing, I'm playing these very quietly in my headphones as we go through.
Hey, everyone's got their strategy.
It is definitely a fun, springy. That's a very good word for it. Very very wholesome. But just something we were talking about Oasis's production, which is probably a bit more raw and expansive. I think his name's Stephen Street, has done a great job with Blur for many of their albums, and this is no question. It seems pretty, I don't know what's the word. It seems sandwiched all together very nicely, and it's perfectly well balanced, I think, and accessible to listen to.
For the reason, Imran, of the bass break in the outro, just the homely, wholesome nature of its riffs, and vocally, not a fan, but I'll forgive it. Tracy Jacks gets the point for me.
Yeah. Shaker Maker was alright. If it was like shorter, I think I'd pick it, but yeah, I think
Why
I'm
do you
going
say shorter?
to join you there. I think maybe if they like got rid of the last part, there's like a structure with these Oasis songs that I noticed where all of them kind of follow a very simple like intro, verse, bridge, chorus, and then they bring in the intro riff again, and then it's the same verse, bridge, chorus, sometimes with just the same lyrics, and then the really long outro that's just super repetitive. And like, I'm from memory, I'm pretty sure this is one of those songs where they just follow the same structure, where it just kind of gets repetitive. And I'm like, if they were shorter, I think I'd enjoy them a bit more. But
okay.
And Shaker Maker's definitely not the worst defender of it, I'd say, Imran. We'll see. I'm not sure. What would you say that's fair?
I'd say that's fair. It's definitely not the worst offender.
We might differ on what we think is the worst offender, but I think we can both agree it is coming up. This one I think is going to be an Oasis point for me. Actually, before we do move on, Sam, final answer: Tracy Jacks or Shaker Maker?
Shaker Maker.
Nice. 2-0 Blur for myself and Imran. 2-0 Oasis for Sam. You love to see it. This one I think is an Oasis point for me. Live Forever versus End of a Century, and it pains me because End of a Century ain't bad. Starts off very 70s prog rocky, and then it goes into an acoustic part, and then it's just dun 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 dun, very monotonous, but neat little song.
Yeah, it's End of a Century. I didn't think much of that song. There's a trumpet solo. Thought it was kind of Beatlesy, kind of like in terms of like the way the melody moves and stuff. Live Forever. I didn't think much of this song either. I liked the drums at the start. I thought it was very like Zeppelin 3, Zeppelin 4 era. Like if this was like acoustic guitars and a mandolin, and the vocals were like an octave higher, I think it'd sound very, very that kind of era. I'm not too sure actually. What's your take?
I love End of a Century. I think it's a good fun song. The instrumentation's pretty funny, as we found, and that classic 70s kind of thing. And then definitely, as soon as you hear trumpets like that in a formation like that, you can. It is very Sgt. Pepper's kind of thing.
That's a good point.
But I think it's no competition with Live Forever. I think Live Forever is probably, if I had to do a whole list of my top 5 Oasis songs, Live Forever is definitely cemented in that. It's just the guitar solo, the outro solo is one of the most amazing things. Just in my headphones, it's just one of those ones you can just sit back and just let go. And I think it's. I remember hearing. It was quite funny. Noel Gallagher had an interview, and they released this after. I think they released it in tongue-in-cheek, in kind of response to Nirvana about...
No.
I'm trying to think of what song it was.
This album came out in 94, so I'm kind of guessing what it might reference.
Just maybe the sound of Nirvana being like singing about death and that kind of thing, and then I think they wanted to change it up and sing about living for. I think I'm not entirely getting that quote right, but
hey, fact check us.
It was
you
something
at home, facebook.com/metal standoff. You can always fact check us, or at Sports Desk SYN on Facebook and Instagram. You can correct us there if you like. Tell us the Great Metal Standoff Centre.
Yeah, and it's an easy song to sing, and I think it's nice. But my favourite moment on that track, and maybe one of my favourite moments on this album, is that outro guitar solo.
You're making a good point. I will admit, when I heard the phrase, I said maybe, I nearly twitched. I nearly developed an eye twitch when I heard that lyric. But it is a pleasing song to listen to, Live Forever, and that's my point, I would say. End of a Century, though, I think it is a bit more of a competition. If we did our top three at the end of the show, I think End of a Century is a contender for me. But Imran, Live Forever is my point, my first Oasis pick.
Fair enough. I think the thing with these two songs is that I don't really remember them quite clearly in my head because they didn't particularly stand out too much. So I don't remember how the outro guitar solo goes.
Oh.
Or kind of much else about End of a Century. Is Live Forever the one that starts off as like, maybe.
Yes. I really want to know.
Yeah. That's like all I remember from that song. Because I think I had the same reaction as you, Jason, when the first lyric was maybe. I think I like out of War Flashback.
Something out of Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
The production on this track is very good too. Just like the way that lifts over the rest of the sounds and scapes that are in the song as well.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Sam. It raises its tension a little bit, but it's pleasing, and there's this little fluffiness to it that is quite nice. Again, I'm not gonna walk away saying oh, this is amazing, but it was pleasing, and that's all I think you really need in this regard. Also appreciate a little bit of a raise in Gallagher's range a bit, drive that tension up a little bit.
Oh, the falsetto, that's interesting too.
I think I'm going to pick End of a Century just because there's a trumpet solo in it.
Hey, not a bad reason. Not a bad reason, Imi.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Sam?
I Live Forever.
Was there ever any doubt?
It's easy. I've listened to that guitar solo so many times with decibels, like at loud decibels, and it still is just as clear and as crisp as it ever was.
Very good. Okay. Up in the Sky versus Parklife. Who wants to take
this one is so easy for me.
What is it?
Parklife, 100%. This song is so fun. It's so simple. It caught me off guard when I first played it because I wasn't expecting like this weird spoken dialogue, like soundscape. You got like right at the start, the riff comes in and there's some stuff in the background and like a guy yelling, and I'm like, what the hell's happening? It's just a really fun song. Like the chorus is really catchy. The very simple upbeat instruments, you got the clapping and stuff as well. Just like it feels like I'm taking a walk through the park and there's this weird crazy guy just telling me about his day or about some weird conspiracy that he came across. I really like the little park life during the verse. I thought that part was really cool. I don't know, because it's just such a simple song. It's really fun. It's definitely going to be my point. Up in the Sky was alright from memory. I think this is when I realized that all of their songs are repetitive and sound the same.
It's also why I gave it a very Siamese dream comparison too, because I can see that point.
Yeah, I can see it in this song, because this one had a really... I didn't mind the riff in this song. It had a very droney kind of feel to it, which I didn't mind. Apart from that, there wasn't really much about Up in the Sky that I took from too much. So, easy point to Blur for this one for me.
Now, I did a little bit of reading today, Sam, and I realised that Oasis have covered Parklife in the past at one point, but they did it slightly differently, didn't they?
I think I know what you're talking about. So I think there was an award that Oasis won. And I think it was maybe selling album or the single. Maybe it was something for that. So they sung very drunkenly on stage when they were receiving their award and said that it was Shite Life instead of Park Life, which was very funny.
Oh, the Gallaghers.
It's very funny. I love their tongue-in-cheek because there was a lot of interviews where they just both shit on each other and stuff. I think it was very fun. We don't really see a lot of that anymore, in a sense like that, where bands would take the piss out of. It's not really a thing anymore, and I think people would be too scared nowadays to crap on another band for repercussions and stuff like that. My points were put to Parklife for this one. Again, this is another karaoke song.
Oh, is it actually?
It is so fun, and I recommend watching the music video. It's very fun, but it does give you that like walking through a park. If you're walking around with headphones on this, it feels like you're in a movie or some kind of musical theatre show or something. But it is very fun. And one of the funny lines, Volksprung der Technik, it's actually, I think, the motto for BMW or something. Yeah, so it's like the German translation or something to that. So fun fact with that. Up in the Sky's a fun song, but I think, there's no competition between Parklife. It's just a very fun, unique song. There's not many really songs like it.
Very funny. If Imran gave a point to End of a Century for a trumpet solo, how did you react, Imran, hearing a sax during the bridge and some trombone in there?
In Up in the Sky?
No, in Parklife.
I think I phased that out of my memory. I think I need to listen to the song.
Come on,
again.
you got to relive that one, surely. That's the first thing you're doing after we're done recording here, Imran.
Yeah, done.
Wonderful. I'll join both of you. Parklife gets the point for most of the reasons that Sam and Imran have talked about. And just there's a skip in your step going about that song. Up in the Sky, tough one to remember about. Bass led the intro. It held the hook together, I guess. But I think, again, it's the haziness that's taking me out of the song for the most part. It was a bit of an ether thing to finish, and I didn't mind the acoustic notes ringing out in the pre-chorus, but Parklife is the point for me. So with that, 3-1 Blur, 4-0 for Imran Blur, and Sam gave his first point to Blur, which is wonderful, leaving the score 3-4. Nice. Next up is Columbia versus Bank Holiday. We just had a little bit of a brief interval. We all got ourselves a little bit of a biscuit, and Sam went Bank Holiday. Oh, this is weird. Explain why.
No, it's funny. It's if we were to write a song in the same vein, we'd be calling it Public Holiday because that's our equivalent. But it is funny, jivey kind of tune, almost punk kind of sounding the way that they're playing the song at a million miles an hour. And then just funny lyrics about them causing mischief on a bank holiday, it seems. Very weird. I feel like I need to be inebriated to keep up with this one. It's fun, but it's okay. But impressive playing and instrumentation. I don't want to pass over that. They've obviously got a solid band together to play it. Oh, and the guitar solo in the bridgy bit's pretty nice. But yeah, interesting one. Should I go on about Columbia, or do I let you go on about?
Do it.
What do you got about Columbia?
Okay. Well, I love Columbia. It's funny. It's probably one of the most surprisingly dancey songs on the album. There is a dancey kind of element to Columbia, the way the beat is. And as well as, and if you're not really appreciating the atmospheric kind of drawn out sound, you're probably not going to be another favourite one of either yours. But no, I think Columbia's great. It's fun. I don't really get what it means, but I've thought about this quite recently. A lot of songs I listen to, it's the sound first and then the lyrics second. So I found with a lot of Oasis lyrics that don't really make sense at all, but you just interpret it the way you want to interpret it. And yeah, no, I think it's a nice. I don't know what's the word to describe it. It's I don't know. It's soothing.
Soothing is a word I would understand a little bit better. I actually want to hear you expand on why you thought it was a little bit dancey, because I kind of just want to understand that. Where'd you get that from?
The kind of like rhythm. So the just the way that the rhythm, and I don't know what the BPM is, but it's probably, if you could strip it back a bit more and add a few more elements to it, you could surprisingly turn it into like I guess maybe a house song or equivalent of a house song in the 90s. But and I think it kind of maybe shines back to a bit of that hacienda, because a lot of the Manchester sound, which was came before really that album, was the Stone Roses and that kind of thing. Their kind of Fool's Gold kind of thing. That's very dancey. And their club scene and that kind of thing. It was a mix of rock and roll genres and early like dance music in their sound. It's a whole other bag of worms, the Manchester kind of sound, but a lot of it early house music.
Okay, right. I think that the thing with Imran and I is I feel like the theme is that we've been complaining about how hazy and I guess, spacey it all is and how it can all mesh a bit. With that considered, Imran, does that style of soundscape, and with Colombia being a victim of this, does it warrant 6-minute songs?
Look, I feel like I cannot remember Colombia at all. It was such a long song, and the only note that I wrote for it here is that there's a riff that sounds exactly like the main riff in 5 to 1 by The Doors. It's like right in the middle. It's like one of the solo parts. Yeah.
Noel Gallagher was a big Doors fan, so that's probably
maybe he did it on purpose.
Maybe.
Yeah. Apart from that, this song, I can barely remember it. I feel like maybe it was so long it just whizzed by me, and I was like, "What?"
Acid house was that genre I was kind of heading to, that acid house sound, which is a weird, interesting, like early 90s sound. It'll, I'm sure people
would not have taken Oasis for acid house.
But yeah, I'm guessing. I don't know. I like the sound. I don't know. Maybe it's just a matter of taste, really. Just that hazy, relaxing kind of thing. When you're in the right mood for it, it works. But yeah, you couldn't listen to this in all kind of settings, I guess. That kind of drawn out.
I mean, Bank Holiday, on the other hand, you could listen to that anywhere. Maybe not everywhere, but yeah, that was a very fun song. I feel like it was a very relatable song because it's just about like people who just gotten paid and they're out, cooking sausages and chicken on the barbecue and doing wacky things and spending their money.
Doing wacky things like barbecuing. Loved that. This might not give me many brownie points. Wasn't a fan of Bank Holiday. Appreciated the fact that Sam brought up punk rock, because I think that is definitely a very punk rock inspired track, but it was a lot being shoved in at once and it became a bit deafening and it became very fuzzy and it was just like, the ears can't take it. Yeah. And it didn't feel very pleasing to me. So vocal and bass were lined up hand in hand, where anything the vocal was doing, the bass was doing, and whatever the bass was doing, the vocal was doing. But I think just because it was all hodgepodged and all thrown at you at the wall and they're fighting for their own unique bit of sound space, it was going, that was the noise I was probably making listening to it. But it's my point, because Colombia is 6 minutes of, just straight line, really. I mean, I can understand the relaxing part of it. It could probably relax you and like have it detox you from a stressful day. But Bank Holiday, I think, is for me.
I forgot to mention shoegaze is another sound out of Britpop. There were a few other bands like I'm trying to think of them. But if you don't know what shoegaze is, it's
Colombia.
They called it shoegaze. Well, basically they said it was because a lot of people would be looking at their feet because there'd be like 25,000 pedals, guitar pedals on the ground.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there were a few other around that time. I will get back to you on what they were called because I've forgotten.
Do you have a point? Where's it gonna lie?
I think Colombia is an easy choice for me.
Wonderful. Imran?
Bank Holiday.
Oh,
I like some thrashy Blur.
Yes, Song 2 and Bank Holiday. Those are the two precedents that have been set for both Imran and I. Okay, Supersonic versus Badhead. Now this is an interesting one. What I've got in my notes here, Sam, for Badhead, game show style opening, very in the keys, particularly during the verse, very fluttery. That's the word I came up with. That bass is very poppy along, very jumpy. It got a bit of wholesomeness to it, and it's very airy, very spacey, like very Pixie. Well, not Pixies the band, but say I guess the magical part of like a fairy or a pixie, kind of like that's how like light and soft and melodic most of the verses are. And what did you get for me there, Imran?
Me, it was a bit of a wind down after Bank Holiday, and even Parklife as well, because they're two very upbeat songs, and now I've kind of wind down to this nice little. Yeah, I'd say I can understand like that magical feel that you said. I thought it was kind of like this 80s kind of ballad you'd find from like a hair metal band, and they just chuck in that one ballad song on their album. This kind of gives me that vibe. Where it's kind of melancholic, but it's also a bit upbeat. I liked the keys in it. Like the lead keys in the verse were really nice. There wasn't too much I really took from this song, apart from the kind of like mix of upbeat and melancholic. Like you listen to this when you're sad, but you're trying to make yourself feel better. I think maybe that's kind of the vibe.
I wrote in my notes, Imran, this song spent an entire day out looking to obtain the sought-out certificate of sweetness.
Yeah, okay.
I think that sums up my views on that song right there. Sam, what did anything of note with Supersonic?
Before I get to Supersonic, I did want to say I think you've got it bang on the head, bang on the bad head, should I say, with the melancholic part of it, because it does remind me of one of Damon Albarn's from Burnt's future projects, Gorillaz, and the song on Melancholic Hill.
That's right. I was trying to think. I knew this. Is it the singer?
Yeah. So Damon Albarn. This was he started with Gorillaz.
Yeah. I wrote in my notes somewhere here that one of their songs sounded a bit Gorillaz-y.
It didn't hit me till now that kind of sound. I like the sound from it, but wow, Super Song is a belter of a song. It is so good. I love the music video when they're on the rooftop and in black and white. And I think the enunciation is going to annoy Jason in this one, because this is full of it. I think it's a very, very fun song. And even the sound, I'm just listening to briefly the start of it. I don't know what the word is, but when you get the pick and you drag it down the top of the
pick
guitar
scraping?
strings. Yeah. It's a very interesting way to start a track.
With the soundscape they're going for, it sounds so grating. Oof.
And I think this is a more accessible song. You've been going on about how they've been a bit more dragged out, and maybe more of the album tracks. This is probably one of the standout, especially singles. This would have been definitely in a chart battle with Blur.
I agree with the enunciations that you mentioned. I wrote here in my notes the singing really hits the specific nerve in my spine. I don't know which one it is, but I did not like it.
Is it in the upper back or lower back?
It's more lower. It's
back,
a
so
bit
L5,
of a dull
L4?
pain.
What about
around
the coccyx?
there, maybe. Yeah, around
Maybe
there.
a coccyx, the tailbone?
It's a really dull thud that just runs up my spine.
Despite that, I reckon Supersonic is going to be my point, because it was passable. I didn't mind it. I don't have too much. Well, actually, there is a few things. The grating, scraping. What have I written here? Verses are Oasis open haze with a... okay, I was describing the verses. It's this very open cacophony of haze, and then they've got their little lick that goes through it. I mean, at least the drums have a bit more energy about it. It's a bit more fuller and open in that regard. And other than that, I think that might be one of the reasons why I'm going to take Supersonic. Badhead just didn't really strike too much to me.
Yeah, the lyrics are pretty funny, like, give me your autograph, can I ride with you in your BMW, you can sail with me in my yellow submarine. And then I know a girl called Elsa, she's into Alka-Seltzer. She sniffs through a cane on a supersonic train. Like it's very bizarre.
Good observation. There are a lot of Beatles references in this as well.
Yes.
I wonder who they're influenced by. Yeah. Anyway.
Surely not.
There seems to be a link.
A British band and another British band.
From the north. Not the northeast, but north.
North. Who like to sing with their really prominent accents. I think I'm going to pick Badhead purely because Supersonic, the vocals, just... I can't.
Really, is that really that distracting to you?
I listened to it twice and the second time was worse. It just did not do anything for me. If I could go the rest of my life without hearing Supersonic again, I think I'd be a very happy man.
Ooh. Okay, well,
the song itself was okay. Like it's not really like the other songs that are, like you said, Jason, you know, like real drony and hazy and stuff. Like it was, you know, upbeat, fun, but I could not do the vocals. I really couldn't.
Wow, and I think it's Sam and I lining up for Supersonic in this instance, and I'll be a bit disappointed, Imran, if Oasis doesn't get a point for this one, because I think this one earns it. Bring It On Down versus The Debt Collector. I do say Bring It On Down earns a point. The Debt Collector, however, Carnival, roll up. This is that's The Debt Collector to a T. That is how you sum it up in a sentence.
Yeah, I immediately thought The Debt Collector. I felt like I was in like some Beatles fever dream. Like could have been some like weird, like not B-side, but like it sounds like the soundtrack to one of those movies that they made. And you're just like walking and you see John Lennon throw a banana peel in front of you or something. I don't know. It just feels like one of those weird comedy like movies from the 60s.
Paul McCartney is all of a sudden the president of the Ministry of Silly Walks or something like that, I guess.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
George Harrison with his hat out, kind of. None of the Beatles wore hats. They had lovely hair. Why would they? That's a terrible analogy. Anyway, Sam.
Ringo was just Ringo.
Oh yeah. Ringo's got the umbrella from the Help video. He just holds that upside down and collects the donations that way. He collects his taxes like that. Yeah, true. That's how he does it. Again, Carnival and just, you know, collect your taxes with Ringo's upside down umbrella. That's that song in a sentence, isn't it, Sam? Is there anything else to add?
Yeah, I think the Debt Collector was interesting. And I think in these battles, I don't know if you've come across much in your battles in the past where an instrumental has come up across a normal song and not another instrumental. It's always going to be a hard battle.
It's happened.
Even short interludes.
Oh, interludes. Oh, okay.
The worst
it's pretty
offender
funny.
was the opening interlude versus Welcome to the Jungle. That was, I think that's the worst offender. That or the Hellion versus Where Eagles Dare. Those are probably the two worst.
True. Yeah.
Apparently I'm just reading here, the Debt Collector was like to show it was the interlude between the first half and the second half of the album. So it's one of those things.
Oh.
So it's a fun way to break it up, I guess. But should we move on to Bring It On Down?
Please do. What do you have? Because if Supersonic was a step up, Bring It On Down is an even bigger step up for me. What do you say?
Yeah, I love this track. This is one of my favourite tracks. If I'm going to a sporting event or something and I need a bit of pumping up, this really gets me going. I think it's really fun. Actually, Manchester City use it as their walkout song for when they come out of their halftime break. They play it across the PA around the stadium. So yeah, no, it's probably one of their heaviest songs. Definitely on this album. And yeah, no, it's just really just no guts, just gives it all. Really, I'm trying to think of...
Sam made a soccer reference. I wrote in my notes, there's a pleasing melody in the guitar solo. He's bending it like Beckham. Great minds think alike, Sam.
I kind of thought the opposite to Sam. I thought there wasn't much edge to this song. Like, it's a cool song. It's very rocky. It's got all the cool leads and stuff. Upbeat. Probably one of the top tracks on this song. but I thought it was very basic. There's no grit, no edge. The vocals are just the same as every other song that I've heard on this album so far. Like, there was just nothing that was interesting. It was just a stock, like, upbeat rock song that you'd play at a sporting event.
Well, I think it fits its purpose. I don't think simple's a bad thing. I think
it's not bad. It's just like, it's just basic. I don't know. I thought it could have been a lot cooler. It was just, there was nothing about it that I really latched onto.
Okay, but bear in mind, this is their first attempt at an album, and I'm thinking they're like 19 or 20 when they were putting this together, and I'm trying to think. Well, I'm not sure of the recording process, but Noel wrote all these songs and demoed them individually on an acoustic guitar, and then they brought them to life as a band. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is fun. There's a bit. I mean, sound-wise, it's definitely physically a lot more heavier than a lot of the stuff on the album.
Yeah, it really is. The point Sam was making earlier on in the show with Rock and Roll Star being the slugging it out in the clubs or in the pubs. I get that feeling the most from Bring It On Down. Actually, I think this would be great in a pub or in a local bar, and with the smoky acoustics and the high octane energy of a crowd, just in an intimate spot.
Feel the sweat.
Feel the sweat. You've nailed that exactly there. That's my point exactly, Sam. Bring It On Down's my point. And that's not to take away, by the way, from Imran's complaints of a bit basic, a bit samey, and the vocals are a bit insufferable. Yes, he's not wrong, but it's still my point.
Is he giving it a point, or is he giving a point to the deck collector? That's the real question.
See, I'm thinking, because like Bring It On Down is not so bad. It's all right. It's probably the first song on here that I'm like, okay, I could listen to this again. Okay. But I did really enjoy listening to the Deck Collector.
I think we're going to get an answer, and he's going to yell at me to move on.
You are. The Deck Collector, quick move.
Done. Debt Collector.
Jesus, okay.
Disappointed is Sam Manhattan. Wowie. This is slowly turning
I'm feeling
into
a certain bias toward.
Well, see, look, the competition is about the song you actively seek to listen to again, right?
So you're going to tell me go the other. Listen to the Deck Collector that instrumental. You go seek out that.
I definitely would. It's a very fun song. It's weird.
This is the guy who said I would actively seek out the hidden track to Toxicity, Arto. It's just an Armenian chant.
Hey.
You'd actively seek that out. Hey, I gave it a point too. I can't deny that. But you don't
That's
know
a
what you're dealing with,
conversation for
Sammy.
another podcast.
Exactly right. So we'll quickly and swiftly move on.
Exactly.
Now, we've reached that point in the podcast where I do need to remind everyone that we are a PG show, and when you're a SYN Media podcast, you actually have to go that extra mile to uphold your PG-ness. So I've got to be careful with what I say reading out this next battle. So I'm going to try and adhere to the rules here. Sherbet Straws and Red Cordial versus... Okay, I'm kidding. I'm not going to actually... I'll be a bit kind. I'll have a little bit of leeway. I think it's only fair. Get It On by T-Rex versus... No, sorry. Sorry. I got it wrong again. I'll get it right this time. Cigarettes and Alcohol versus Far Out. Go. Sammy, come on. We've got to address it
here. I'm glad you gave me the warning to start off with. Yes, it is a direct rip-off of T-Rex's Get It On, Bang a Gong. But in saying that, this is, and I've got to be careful. I don't want to promote alcohol usage.
We're not going to be doing that on this show.
Alcohol usage. I do like singing this song.
Okay, it's a karaoke song.
It's in the title.
Yes,
we're not promoting anything, but
no, we are not.
It is a karaoke song.
But I think this is the equivalent of letting your hair down. This song, and it's the stressed. I don't know. It's encaptured in a song like all right, the current situation in their life is not good, job-wise, and they just want to go out and party, and this is where they can let their hair down. Which in some ways, in some part of my life, I can relate to sometimes. But no, this is one of my favourite. And even though the riff is being pinched directly, it is a very, very good riff.
So what riff has this been stolen from? Because
Get it on.
I haven't.
So get it on, man. Get it on. Get it on.
It's slightly different. But,
Get It On by T-Rex.
yes,
Yeah.
T-Rex.
Oh, give me a second.
There we go. Everyone's actually going to start Googling this. So while I do that, I'm actually I have next to no notes next to Far Out. Apart from this, UFO hunting with whatever bizarre family Louis Theroux met earlier that day. That's all I have to say about Far Out.
Yeah, I just listened to a snippet of the T-Rex song. I can hear it. It's like...
It's abundantly clear once you've heard it.
It is Cigarettes and Alcohol by Oasis.
Yes, it is. Sam, those were my notes on Far Out. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, before I get to Far Out, just as I'm skimming through this, just everything is turned up to 11 in this song. Like the way it finishes, you can hear the distortion from the amps just ringing out still, and I don't know. You can often hear in a few of the recordings from this album, like a chair creaking and stuff. Like it's pretty much cut and dry. Whereas Blur's a bit more. I feel that's a bit more, maybe a bit more experimental and a bit more thought into the actual production. Where this is just a bit raw. Yes, so yes, Banger Gone. But I really like this song. For Far Out though, I was looking at it. It reminds me of an early Pink Floyd track, like Syd Barrett kind of influence.
Oh yeah,
That's a good one.
And then I'm forgetting how short the song is. Far Out. Far Out. It's so short.
Yeah, I read that it kind of had a Doors vibe to it, like early one of the weird psychedelic tracks in the middle of their album. I feel like kind of had that vibe to it, but yeah, Pink Floyd as well, definitely. I thought that little intro snippet was almost kind of reminded me of like a snippet of like a 70s like B or C grade horror soundtrack. Like you got these weird sounds kind of coming through. Very, very weird, and a very jarring ending as well. Like I was not expecting that sun, that just like kept going for like almost a minute. Like it's so weird. Cigarettes and Alcohol. I thought the riff at the start was kind of almost AC/DC-esque. It's a fun song. This is probably another one of their more up, like Bring It On Down, more upbeat, like rockier kind of feels, which I didn't mind this song too much either. I think I had the same problem with this one as Bring It On Down, is that there wasn't really much edge or much that I could take from it that was interesting. It's just your average everyday rock song.
Can I ask you a question before we move on? I'm just curious. Are you more into like, say, what's the word?
Psychedelic?
Well, that too, but it's a whole new genre of, well, not new, but it's like rock and metal, but it's very prog. Is that it? Yeah.
I am very into prog, yes.
Yeah, okay. So, so someone that listens to something that's, I mean...
Look, I can appreciate a band like Oasis. I grew up listening to AC/DC, like Led Zeppelin, Metallica, like kind of the basic metal bands. So I can appreciate music like this that's kind of more poppy, more fun, like just like you said before, music to kind of let your hair flow back to.
Yep.
But I feel like there are other bands who've done it better than Oasis. I don't know if that's my bias because I previously hated Oasis. I really tried to listen to this with an open mind. Like, but I freaking hate Wonderwall. Don't even understand. No, I really like tried. There are some good there was some good stuff on this album. It's just I don't know. I feel like they could have done some of these better. I can understand as well a first album, maybe they're not, fully into the writing and stuff yet, and they're kind of just doing whatever they want and stuff, which I appreciate as well. It's just that this album has done nothing for me yet. I don't know. Personal opinion.
Jason.
Please tell me, Imran, you're picking Far Out.
It's just a bit more interesting.
It's a song that's a minute and 10 seconds.
More happened in this song in a minute and 10 seconds than the entirety of Cigarettes and Alcohol.
I think that's slightly a bit harsh.
I'm sorry to let you down, man.
Make it happen.
We've got 3 songs left from the Oasis album. We'll see.
Again, I can only picture an episode of Weird Weekends Louis Theroux when I think of Far Out. I really want to go Far Out just to annoy Sam. I really, really do. Because I got so distracted thinking I was listening to the T-Rex song, listening to Cigarettes and Alcohol. I just want to go to Far Out for originality, but I don't think I can bring myself to do it because of the 1 minute 10. This is with an asterisk. With this caveat, Imran, I'm going to seek out Far Out again for a laugh or for like a campfire if I'm in the desert looking for aliens. But my point is Oasis. Just common sense. But I'm not that big of a fan of the song. I'd rather just listen to T-Rex. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to be civil. I'm going to be a voice of reason. Oasis is my point.
I've got nothing against this song. Just
nothing against it, but nothing for it.
Yep, that's exactly it.
Whereas Sam, your point is
Far Out.
Of course, cigarettes. I feel like I got.
Okay.
Sam's never coming back on the podcast after this.
No, and it's a shame because he's been an utter delight. I'd love to have him back on. Going to more classic rock, I think, but
yeah, no, that'd be good.
I need a minute. Whew. Digsy's Dinner versus To The End. Who wants to kick this one off?
I think Sam should kick this one off.
Go ahead then.
Okay, well, I'm just quickly listening to There now because I'm trying to remember it.
Maybe I should kick it off then.
From the notes I've got then, Imran, there's a lot more cinematic style to the song. Something out of a romance film, can't deny that. It's got the funk of romance. It's got this sleuthy synth to it. So it's this weird, like, is it Austin Powers like? It's got kind of the style to it, but it's just this dorky sleuth kind of thing. Unless it's really sleek, then it's James Bond, isn't it, Imran?
Yeah, but, I was thinking like
can't deny
this.
The funk.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like maybe more the James Bond style, almost like a Frank Sinatra ballad.
Okay, no, righto.
Yeah.
The soppiness.
You bang on the head about the cinematic thing. I can hear those carnival elements you were talking about. They're pretty prominent.
Yeah, at the end
this
there
as well. And then the vocals remind me a bit of Bowie. Just the way. Yeah. So they're a bit interesting. It's almost like, I'm not too sure of the, but maybe he's singing as a character in a film or something, not singing as himself, which is why he's changing up his voice. But it's got, kind of got the Bowie or some kind of like early like 50s Kroner maybe to it as well.
Yeah, that's kind of what I took from that as well. It's like that, like early 50s, like jazz ballad kind of feel. I thought this song would be very good music as well. Like I could definitely hear this being played in an elevator somewhere. Maybe a more light instrumental kind of version, but yeah, it kind of gives me like that vibe. But I did like this song a lot to the end. I did not mind Digsy's Dinner either. It was short and sweet. I liked it.
Probably the shortest song on the album, I think.
I think it was.
You didn't accidentally think you were listening to Holiday by Green Day, did you? When it started.
Oh, I didn't pick that up, actually. Maybe I got to give it another listen.
This isn't Oasis ripping off Green Day, clearly. If it is the case, it'd be the other way around. But first couple of chords, I was going, hang on, this is Holiday. No, it's not. Okay. But it's got that pop punk kind of jumpy essence going on about it.
It does.
And then it gets then it abandons that a little bit once we reach the piano part. Now it's the piano melody leading the song along, and then that element goes away. But at that point, I think that's something to observe.
Yeah. I thought this song was very British as well.
Well, it is the Battle of Britpop.
Yeah, I can't really deny it. It's in the name. Yeah, just like the lyrics and stuff. So it's like it kind of didn't remind me of Parklife, like the spoken dialogue and stuff, but it was just like that. Yeah, very upbeat British kind of feel. I did like the piano solo in this as well. I thought that was a nice little something different on this album.
Yeah, it is.
Jason, what are you picking?
Oh, you're asking me? Digsy's Dinner or To The End? It's a tough one. I didn't have that big of a positive opinion on both. To The End, I also wanted to point out keyboards that are brought out around about 2.5 minutes in on To The End. It goes very Disney. It's that really light key. The keyboards remind me of something that you'd get out of a Disney film. It's such a soppy song. I think I'll go Oasis because it's less soppy. That's going to be my justification, I think. I'll go Digsy's Dinner. Final answer.
I was just going to mention one thing about the song too. It does remind me of like I Am the Walrus, the kind of ridiculous lyrics and that kind of thing. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm the Walrus is a lyric in one of the Oasis songs, isn't it?
Really?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure it was,
in some songs. There's Easter eggs everywhere, Beatles references.
They like those Beatles lyrics.
But I'm trying to think. Yeah, like They'll All Go Green for My Lasagna. It's just very funny song. Like I remember when I first heard this, like when I first played it, and I was just like, "What the hell is going on here?" But then I surprisingly caught myself off guard when I was first discovering all of this. Like I'm just like, I really like it. It's fun, but I think you've got bang on the money with it being kind of in that Parklife kind of not taking themselves too seriously. But it is actually a surprisingly tough battle between To The End. I think it's pretty interesting, but I have to stick my guns with Dixie's Dinner just because it's, I don't know, it's probably the most different thing on the album, different sounding thing on the album.
It definitely is, like, out of everything that they've had so far, it's like the, not necessarily quirky, but like the most interesting kind of thing that's popped up. I'm sorry, Sam. I have to pick To The End. I just like
Fair
it a
enough.
little bit better.
I think To The End's pretty good. And I'll have to re-listen to that again because a lot of these tracks I don't know as well as I do others, so...
We're inching ever closer to a Parklife clean sweep for Imran here. This is getting exciting on my side here, in charge of all these scores. All right, Slide Away versus London Loves. Wow. Even more disco, even more synth, even more synth.
Imran roll his head back.
Did he? Imran, I'm going to test to see if our great minds are thinking alike. Slide Away, worst offender of the prolonged indulgent outro.
Yep.
Great minds think alike.
That is one of two notes that I have of this song. The other note being the opening verse melody for the vocals sounds exactly like that No Doubt song, Don't Speak.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to go back and listen to that.
Yeah, check that one out because I swear it's identical. It's not exactly like, it's not the whole song, it's just that opening part. It reoccurs. Yeah, no, that outro is redonkulous.
Don't Speak came out the year after. So.
Oh, well, I guess they ripped off Oasis. Props to Oasis for that one. Yeah, no, I've got nothing else for Slide Away.
Do you know what bugs me, Sam, is that I did enjoy Slide Away until liked the sound of its own voice for a bit too long. I was a big fan of the first half, and then it went on.
How long does that song go for again?
It's 5 minutes or 6?
6.5.
Six and a half, yeah.
Minutes.
I remember it being something ridiculous like that.
It could have easily been 4.
Yeah, it was like 3 minutes or 4 minutes or something, and then the rest of it was just outro. I was like...
Now, again, to give the song credit, with the Gallagher, with Liam going slide away during that outro, soon he kind of does the harmonies, and that elevates a little bit of that outro, but then there's still so much more outro left to go that it diminishes. And
I like the little... Sorry to interrupt. That little bit that Noel does at the end, and you can't really hear it in the mix as well, but everyone, when I've been out and they've played this song... people like to do that rappy kind of bit at the end. Trying to remember the words of it. I don't know. I need to get it up somewhere. But it is a fun little addition they don't really have too many tag-ons like that at the end in some songs. But it is in a really, really long outro. Maybe the Champagne Supernova for Champagne Supernova in a way. But it's a love song, and the voice cracks are very, I don't know, it's a very raw, powerful song, and I've heard a lot of people play this at their weddings, surprisingly.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Talk
So
about
I don't know if there's a radio edit.
Yeah. London Loves, on the other hand. This one's a very funky song.
So much synth.
A lot of synth, a lot of dance elements.
Disco.
I liked the chorus. It's just simple, catchy, just goes over the riff. It's just a pretty simple song. Like it's not in my top 3 or anything, but like if this came on, I wouldn't be mad. The guitar solo, very wacky. Very almost like Slayer Rain and Blood type of solo.
That's a comparison I never thought I'd hear on this show. What? Explain yourself.
I don't think he hits a single note that's correct. And you have to agree with me, Jason, because we did this recently. Rain and Blood's still surely fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
You know how much you hated those solos.
Oh, deplorable. Come on, Kerry.
No, I think it's just like the same style of just like kind of real dissonant, like whatever happens. Not to the same extent, obviously, but like I definitely, like the first thought in my brain was this could go on a Slayer song. Just wacky, a lot of whammy bar bends and weird sounds. The outro of this song I think was a little long. That weird spoken word kind of sounded like it was coming through a telephone or something. Apart from that, it didn't last as long as Slide Away, so that's going to be my pick.
Any takeaways you got from London Love, Sam? We haven't been a bit quiet on that one. Is it a high-ranking one? Middle tier?
Yeah, no, to be honest, I thought this is probably one of Blur's weakest songs. I hate to be having the same arguments against himself, but I think this one's pretty plain. It doesn't change much throughout. Yeah, there's not much. I don't know. Maybe it's sometimes like eating not that I like sauce very much, but eating a pie without sauce.
I like eating pie without sauce. I wanted to give my point to Slide Away, by the way, Sam. I'm trying to stick up for you here. I really did want to give it to Slide Away. I just can't with that outro. London Loves gets the point. I was a fan of that. Imran's points have exemplified it.
Okay.
Imran, your point's obviously London Loves.
Yep.
And Sam, I'm guessing Slide Away. You're sticking with the Oasis.
Yep.
We're inching even more to a clean sweep. You love to see it. I'm seeing a landslide happen on the other side of the court as well with Sam's Oasis score, and we've got 5 gold stars on offer coming up soon, but that's Then This Is Now. Married with Children versus Trouble in the Message Center. This is Trouble in the Message Center is all... I think that might make the top 3 with me. Married with Children, on the other hand, that's the most overtly Beatles I think I've heard Oasis on this entire album, because Gallagher sounds very nearly Lennon, or at least he's channeling Lennon the most overtly, I would say, across Definitely Maybe. And it's, you know, it's a chirpy, acoustic-y Beatles melodic song. With a little hint, little sprinkle of the psychedelic stuff that they've been doing throughout the album.
Yeah. I thought nothing of Married with Children. It's I think the lyrics just got to me. Just this weird breakup song. I think there was a lyric in there about how someone's food was shite or someone's music was shite or something.
Yeah, no, the music.
That's the one,
shite.
and I just lost it after that. I think I just exited my body. I agree with you, Jason. Trouble in the Message Center about this being a top song. I like how it flowed from the previous song. Kind of had this like 90s alt rock anthem vibe with like 80s synthwave vocals over the top,
and very
like,
monotonous at that.
Like something from like, yeah, something like Depeche Mode or The Clash could kind of fit that. I think it's a very big song there. I did like Trouble in the Message Center. Like the weird like instrumental bridge where the la la la's come in. It's a very big sounding mix there, which I thought was really cool, especially the drums. The bass was following along nicely as well. Well, not a spectacular song, but like very
Just
high
well
up,
written, generally.
very well written, I'd say so. It's just a nice, good song.
Yeah, I think this is pretty definite strong one. You were mentioning 80s bands there. I think a big influence for Blur that we haven't mentioned is Madness. I think this comes out in this song a little bit. This song definitely is a bit more, I mean, compared to London Loves, there's a lot more going on. This goes in all different directions. So I definitely like this one. Married with Children, I think that was one of the original recordings from the first go at recording all the albums that they didn't dump. So, and maybe it might even be a demo. I'm not too sure on that.
I could kind of hear that, kind of that demo vibe.
But it was definitely very raw. Interesting. Okay, apparently this has the same chord progression structure as Nirvana's Lithium, which I would never have occurred to me ever.
Huh.
And that's on songfacts.com, everybody. So if we got that wrong, fact check us. Yes.
Look, I like it. I think it's something different. I like how young and raw Liam's vocals are, and he probably hasn't sung. I'm trying to think of songs where he sung very high like that. Definitely in that chorus-y bit. But there's not too many times where he's done that, and I think I don't know if you're saying that you find the lyrics a bit jarring with like shite and things like that, but I guess I'm so enveloped in growing up in a lot of British culture and British TV that's all normal to me, that I've seen things before, so it's not maybe as jarring as it probably is to you. I don't know, this is a tough one. You'll have to come back to me.
All right. Well, I think Imran and I, our point is Trouble in the Message Center for the well-writtenness of the song.
Yes, sir.
And how it just, there's a lot of juxtaposition going on, monotonous voice and build. I'm glad you pointed out how the drums and the bass relationship took place in that. And I just like when, there were things going on when the song hit a little bit of a lull. There's still that little bit going on to carry it along, which was very nice. And so there's so much trouble choruses now, and the la la las. Obviously, la la las are a bit mundane, but you can forgive it in that instance. So Blur for me, Blur for Imran, and we're gonna see where Sam lies.
As much as I really love Trouble in the Message Centre, I think I'm going to say Married with Children just so we can get some points back from the debt collector.
Spite points. They're the best ones.
Points, my favourite.
But no, don't get me wrong. I think that Blur song, that'll be on my list of songs to re-listen to and rediscover.
Okay, now we have reached that point in the podcast where we say Definitely Maybe by Oasis is done. It's finished. Don't need to think about that anymore. Now it's the gold stars we need to delegate to the deserving tracks. Ibran, Clover over Dover. If that went up against an Oasis song, would you give it a go? Would it win? Would you actively seek that song out again? Do you give it a gold star? Is there any other reason? Is it worth one? Does it deserve it?
I mean, it's an interesting song. It's got a very classical feel to it, I think. Like, 'cause there's a lot of movement with a lot of the instruments and stuff. There's some nice vocal harmonies in it. The guitar riff in the main guitar riff has a bit of dissonance to it, which I think is interesting because kind of like going with that kind of classical feel, you don't get a lot of that specifically with that genre. I think it's very noticeable when an instrument's playing something out of the realm of what's supposed to be played. I think with like music theory in general, which I thought was interesting. But it was a nice little song. Probably would win against an Oasis song, but I'm not going to give it a gold star because it's all right.
What do you say, Sam? Bonus point coming Blur's way for you?
Not on that track, I don't think. It's okay. Yeah, I like the harpsichord that's in it. I think that's what it is. Reminds me, whenever I hear a harpsichord, all I can hear is that Golden Brown by the Stranglers. I always hear that. It's okay, but I don't know I don't know what to say about these tracks. Sometimes there's filler tracks, and I feel like this is a filler.
My answer is no, because of this point. So, my view is the aim of this song is to picture a wholesome seaside walk. This song is so light it would disintegrate with one puff. So just one little simple whoo, and then the song would just disintegrate into white noise or whatever. Yeah, my answer is no gold star. It's so light and delicate.
Fair enough.
Magic America. What do we say about that, Sam?
It's a bit weird. Guitar is very funky in this. It's almost like it's not too heavy a sound and it's not too clean, but it still sounds dirty in a way. And it sticks out, and the mix is a bit interesting.
Don't like the mix personally.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't really fit. Feels a bit slopped together. But then when it gets to the kind of chorusy bit, kind of filters out a bit better. But yeah, not really a strong one for me on this track either. And I've just dropped my pen.
Well, while he picks up his pen, I want to bring a point to you, Imran. I'm just asking questions here. Do you think this song even needs guitar? It's exclusively in your left ear, and it just feels misplaced to me. It almost like...
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the guitar in it. I thought it was like... I think this is kind of a thing that Blur do, like, which I kind of realized at this point is just... I think, well, I mentioned it before, the guitarist kind of just playing anything he wants and feels like over some kind of basic instrumental stuff. It's not a bland song. It's just kind of, a normal song, I guess. And that guitar, I think, adds a different layer that you're listening to it and you're thinking to yourself, why is that there? But it kind of works. It doesn't at all. I know it doesn't, but like if you listen to the song without the guitar, something about it would be lacking.
There's a strange...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say there's also a strange synth towards the end that almost sounds like it's from a video game, and it's a bit jarring. So if I only had to listen to that, it'd probably be worse.
Is this the dissension that just pans across your ears and it kind of goes downwards as it goes along? It's like a...
No, there's that too, but there's like...
It's like a weird...
like a duck.
It's
It's
so
like a weird
cartoony.
solo. Yeah, that one was really weird. That stuck out to me. I thought the guitar had a bit of like a Hendrixy feel to it.
Interesting you say Hendrix. I made a Hendrix comparison, not on this song, but on another one. We'll get to that. Another takeaway I had, Magic America, there's parts of this song I just outright hated. Like when they had a synth rise, they had that little synth rise, and then they had that buzzer that just went off at a very inappropriate time for me. It go ding, and it took me out of it a bit. There's very little flow about it. Everything feels slapdash, and it's all over the shop and not in a good way. So no gold star for me.
I did like this song. Did quite like the guitar. I'm gonna say no.
I thought you were about to say yes then. I'm not
I
going to
thought
lie.
I was as well.
What about Jubilee then?
Jubilee. What did I write here?
Well, we're returning back to the punk rock.
Yeah, bit of punk rock. All right, bit of Elton John in there in the vocals. What's that song that?
Oh, I know what you're going to say. I can hear
Am
it
I?
because the riff adds onto it as well. It's a bit of totally like Saturday Nights Are After Fighting.
Saturday
What
Night.
it
That's
is.
the song. Yep, that's
Yeah,
what I'm thinking
I'm
of.
hearing a little bit.
Yeah, I thought there was a bit of that in there, and I really like that song. Jubilee, I think it's not exactly the same, obviously, but like I like that attitude to it, like the fun kind of stuff. The chorus I think got a bit heavier as well in this. It's a bit of a chanty feel to it. The lyrics I thought were very like teen angsty kind of song. It just felt like, I don't remember exactly how they go, but they kind of just felt like somebody wasn't sure about anything.
Something I'm not sure about, and it's a question to the room. Why do some of these effects sound like it's straight out of a cartoon?
It's a good question.
I don't know. There's just something about their vibe that they're plucky and funny and feels like it could be a kids show kind of background music without the lyrics sometimes.
That is a good question, Jason.
The silence is telling me he doesn't have an answer. He's just
I have no answer.
bewildered.
I can tell you I'd give this a point.
Oh, okay.
That's about it. Yeah, no, I like this song.
Do you, Sam?
I think it was probably better than the last two, but I'm saving my point for the next one.
Okay,
Well, spoilers.
no gold star for Sam on Jubilee, but this is a low. It is going to get one, you're saying.
Yep, no, this is a big standout. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
No, I definitely like this one. Sorry, what was you going to say?
I was going to say, I can see why you'd like this, because this is probably the most Oasis song on here, on this album.
It's soothing. I feel like this could be, if it is, but it's not, a good closing track for the album. And there's a nice little, like, I don't know if it's the bass line, but after every do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, that kind of thing that they keep harking back on. And yeah, it is. And this does sound like it probably could be on Definitely Maybe, but yeah, interesting.
No, I really liked this song as well. I'll probably give it a point. Actually, scratch that, I definitely will. It's a very slow and dreary and like, it's kind of...
I thought you didn't like those.
No, don't get me wrong. I very much like slow and dreary, but I think the thing with this song is that there was some more happening in it that I think I could kind of latch onto, that I could kind of just how do I explain it? My train of thoughts come to a halt. I don't know. I thought this was kind of like a 70s kind of ballad. Like there's a bit of classic rock in it, but yet it's got this like end of the world vibe. Like I felt like this, you could play this over like a big megaphone speaker as like explosions happen in the background, or like a war movie.
Apocalypse.
I think it kind of fit. Something like that, yeah.
Second
Like,
shout out
if you play
the show today.
Yeah. Like big fuzzy guitars in this as well. I liked the solo with the dual guitar thing happening. Yeah, I think this one was just a bit more interesting than the slow and drony Oasis songs. I think there was just a bit more happening, just a bit more to it in terms of not necessarily production, but the sound of it. I don't know, Jason, what do you have?
I'm going to change the subject slightly, and I'm going to zero in on the intro. It starts off acoustically, and then I think that it has the Jimi Hendrix Are You Experienced kind of guitar style teased to us. And then it goes on to become...
like that reverse. Yeah.
It has that kind of tease. It's only a tease because it doesn't last very long, but it's Are You Experienced, I think. And then really all I had was now it's just a lazy indie song. That's all I came out of this song. So I'm going to be I think I'm disagreeing with both you and Sam on that one, and I won't be giving it a bonus point.
Okay.
But
I noticed this the ending solo. It's not even at the end, but there's a big guitar solo and it's pretty decent as well.
Yeah, it ramps up and then the effects come into play, and it definitely builds itself up. But I don't think I've gravitated to it to the same extent that both of you have. But to confirm again, Sam, that is your bonus point. This is a low.
Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And Imran gave that a point as well. I will be holding off. I don't think I'm giving any bonus points to any Blur songs, especially not the ending, Lot 105, which is your final song.
I want to give this one a point.
Wow, do you? It goes from a lo-fi beat to a video game post-credits within the blink of an eye, really.
It's so weird. It's got like 3 different styles in like 1 minute. So it starts off with this like the light drums, which this is where I wrote that I thought it sounded kind of Gorillaz-y. So big brains right there. I liked the bass. It was just moving throughout the thing over that weird synth. And then it comes up with this like weird reggae choppy rhythm that you kind of, I feel like you weren't expecting to fit over that initial beat. And then the tempo just changes and suddenly you get this, what is it, like a la la la, and then there's like one lyric in it. I don't remember the lyric, but it's just really weird.
It's probably straight out of the Ramones playbook, probably.
Probably.
They're using that weird duck synth again. So I'm never going to give a point for that.
So that video,
but
yeah.
the whatchamacallit, the organ kind of bossa nova kind of riff at the start is pretty funky.
Sounds like a lo-fi beat, Sam.
Yeah.
Lo-fi beats to chill, study, or relax to.
I feel like this is something... as we've seen, I don't know if you watched the big Beatles documentary that came out a couple of months ago.
I saw a bit of that.
And you see how they jam and do little funny things and stuff, and they change the lyrics and they play funky thingos. A lot of it doesn't get onto the final material, but somehow in this album it did.
You reckon this was one of those songs?
Yeah, randomly come up on the fly, and then they thought, fuck it, we'll chuck it in for a laugh. Did want to mention the 2 songs that were left out were bonus tracks, just to give a bit of evency, because there's a lot more tracks on Whatever, which they actually put out just after the album to gap between the next album, which they called the Christmas single that charted, I think, pretty well. Sad Song, that's actually on my vinyl, so I think that was the first one that missed out.
We're going back
which
to
is a
Oasis
nice
here too,
acoustic ballad. Yeah, sorry. And Cloudburst, which is another raw kind of demo, but definitely off the Sad Song or Whatever, worth checking out.
Right, okay, wonderful. And did I hear you correctly, Sam? You're joining Imran, bonus point, Lot 105?
No, I'm not giving it a bonus.
Ooh.
Should have put one anyway.
It doesn't affect the score, so I mean, not gonna try and push you in any direction, but I mean, it doesn't affect the result. The high octane, though, undeniable, but I'm going to hold off. No bonus points from me for Parklife. But with that, that's all of our scores delegated. It's time to tally them all up because the battle is over. And what a thrill ride we've had. Unfortunately, gentlemen, I'm the only one that has a split score here. If we have a look at them, Imran's score I'm not going to call this a clean sweep, because out of a possible 16, he scored 14. 14-0 to Blur.
I really wanted to give Oasis a point, but man.
Which one was the song that you thought about giving a point the most to?
Probably like Bring It On Down or Cigarettes and Alcohol.
Oh, well, they deserved it then.
Sammy, you're one to talk. 10-2 Oasis.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't as far seated as the other side.
No.
And it didn't mean that the song on the other side was bad. It was just tough competition.
And exactly. We'll be doing our top threes toward the end, so we'll be giving some love to both. And what an exploration to Britpop for myself, because I wasn't too enthused by both of these albums on first listen, but this conversation's maybe going, they're endearing me a little bit more. But the final score reads for myself, Oasis with a total score of 5, Parklife with a total score of 6. The winner of this battle is going to be Parklife by Blur by one singular point. Kind of like, actually, Sam's a Carlton fan. Kind of like Carlton missing out on the finals by one singular point.
Thanks for that.
Oasis falls at the last hurdle to lose by a point, but it has been one hell of a little fun. Both albums have endeared me as we've went along talking about it. So a big thank you to Sam and Imran for breaking down their thoughts on it, leaving me with that impression as we went along. It is quite the fun one. What does everyone have for their top 3, by the way? We'll start with Sam, our guest. Do you have a top 3 favourite songs from both albums here?
So is it top 3 out of both albums or top 3 from
off
each
both.
album? Off both. Hang on, so say that again. So what, including everything?
Every song. We'll start with Imran. Let's have Imran set the precedent for us.
Yeah.
Off of Blur, Parklife, Far Out, and Bank Holiday. I had to add Far Out in there. Oasis, Digsy's Dinner, Cigarettes and Alcohol, and Bring It On Down.
If you want, we can give Sam a few more moments to think. I'm so happy you included Far Out. That's hilarious. Remember, Far Out, it made his top 3. Myself...
I had to justify that point.
You did, didn't you? Live Forever was definitely one. Do I want to go Slide Away just for fun? Do I want to? Do I want to? Bring It On... I think Bring It On Down, definitely. Live Forever, Bring It On Down. And, okay, with a caveat... the first half of Slide Away. That's my top 3, or 2.5, I guess. For Parklife, for Blur, Trouble in the Message Centre, London Loves. Ooh, and what do I want to do after that? End of a Century or Parklife, the track. Or Tracy Jacks. That's another one. Let's go Parklife. We'll go Parklife.
I will go for Blur. Definitely Parklife number 1 in there as well. Girls and Boys, and maybe End of a Century, where This Is Low just misses out. And for Oasis, obviously Live Forever, Cigarettes and Alcohol, and Bring It On Down.
And with that, that's the battle. Imran, speaking on your behalf as well, this is our first proper exploration into the Britpop. What do we think? What are our takeaways?
You know what? I'm glad I finally listened to a proper Oasis album and that I've experienced that. I don't know if I ever will again, but I'm glad I did it. Blur, I think, surprised me the most because I never listened to Blur either before this, and there was some rockin' tunes on that album. I was also surprised by Oasis because I was just expecting them to be like a Wonderwall, So like there was some stuff on that album that did surprise me a little bit, and their sound did take me off guard. It was a good experience. I wouldn't mind listening to more Britpop. Maybe not Oasis.
There's definitely lots to delve with Britpop. It can take you on a big wormhole, so many bands. The
conclusion I drew was that, once I finished with Definitely Maybe, I didn't listen to Oasis before, I've now listened to Oasis. I drew the same conclusion listening to Blur, But I think, but this is the thing. This conversation has made me realise, yeah, actually, I don't mind the endearment of a London Loves or a Trouble in the Message Centre, and there's fun to be had. So I've reached the point where I'm not going to outright seek Britpop all of the time, and I'm not going to necessarily like it all the time, but I'm not going to complain about it all that much. That's my point. No complaints from me if you're going to pop a Britpop song on in a social setting or anything like that. And I owe Sam to actually, working alongside him for a little while, playing Oasis a lot during the song breaks on the sports desk. And we're going to get Sam to break down everything you need to know about the sports desk in just a minute. But I wouldn't have listened to Don't Come Back in Anger and probably a couple of other Oasis songs that he's played during the song break. So a big thank you to that for Sam to finally, accelerate the process of getting you on the show to do this one properly and have a reason to properly explore them.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's made me breaking it down and going through it. It does give it interesting, which I probably might listen to a few things a bit more differently now, a bit more concise. And some of the connections I made, it just wasn't until we were talking about it, which is interesting. So it'd be fun to do this with a lot more albums and stuff. And the reason why I do play them because a lot and try to get it out there is because that whole thing where everyone just knows One's the Wall and just thinks of them as, a cheesy acoustic band when they've got some stuff. They've got some heavy stuff. So I don't know. It's interesting. Definitely was fun.
Yeah, no worries. I guess my final point is, do you have any other recommendations for Imran and myself if along the Britpop style that you think, the two of us should explore a little bit more, should we choose to?
Okay. Well, definitely a lot of inspiration for Oasis and many bands in the 90s were from the Stone Roses. They were the first on the edge of I think 1989, they put out their self-titled album, which is along the same sort of guitar-y kind of, it's hard to explain. So definitely them. Would you count the Smiths as Britpop? I know that's late 80s and stuff. I think it is. Actually, one of the songs, funnily enough, on definitely maybe, I can't remember which one, was actually written on Johnny Marr's guitar that he gave to Noel Gallagher. Gave him acoustic. Trying to think a bit more. Primal Scream, they're Britpop. So if you know them, Get Your Rocks Off, which is probably the most un-Britpop sounding sound. They've got a nice set of songs. I'm just trying to think. Some of them are one-hit wonders and things, but there's definitely, it's just a bit of a wormhole. It's one of those things where many sub-genres and stuff kind of split off to, as well, as we mentioned, with the kind of shoegazy kind of things. I'm just looking at a list here. Oh, Supergrass. How could I forget them? They're a really cool band. They were actually coming here in 2020, but cancelled and haven't rebooked. They played at Taylor Hawkins' tribute concert at Wembley because apparently it was one of Taylor Hawkins' favourite bands. So they're really fun. Pulp, probably people know. They're a bit fun. Oh, on the Verve, Bittersweet Symphony. Of course, you should know that one.
Oh, the Rolling Stones?
Yes, which they finally, and not that long ago, I reckon it was about 5 years ago, they finally settled the copyright thing.
Oh, I thought they never did.
No, it finally got settled, thankfully. Yeah. Radiohead, I think maybe are Britpop. I don't know. They're an interesting one.
Maybe the early stuff you could classify as Britpop.
Yeah. The Lightning Seeds. They're another one. And I don't know. Just dig it out. Supergrass, though, is probably a number one recommendation. The Charlatans and the Stone Roses.
There we go. That's for me and Imran to explore a little bit more. And I guess finally, tell us everything about the Sports Desk. Where can we hear it? Where can we find it? Plug everything.
Well, Fridays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on SYN 90.7 in FM in Melbourne. Or you can stream it online or catch the podcast. I don't know when this is going to come out, so we may have finished for the year.
Probably have by that point.
Definitely be back next year.
This is your preview into next year, listeners.
Okay. Yeah, we can catch the podcast and social media. Yeah.
Hear his lovely voice break down the world of sport. Sam?
Oh, and definitely, before you go, sorry, I will plug, I am definitely trying to get the Rockology back for next year, which is my rock show. So hopefully it can return. And you can listen to all those podcasts. They're still on the SYN website.
Okay, wonderful. We'll link that in the description here. Sam, you are welcome back anytime. Thank you very much. And Imran, thanks very much for coming along too.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
That's all for now. Thanks again to Sam for coming on in. His links to the Sports Desk and Rockology will be in the description. Stay up to date by following us on facebook.com/Metal Standoff Pod and check out our other battles on your preferred podcast platform. Plus, be sure to tune in to SYN's main metal show, Mosh Pit, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. on 90.7 FM, DAB Plus digital radio, or online at syn.org.au. Until next time, metal up your ass!